very good morning and welcome to this edition of WTV News. My name is Zawadi Ndibo, and just before we get to details of the stories we are covering for you, and look at some of the headline news stories we have. Five suspects arraigned in a Nairobi court with stripping a woman in Kayole. 4 mosques initially closed over security concerns in Mombasa now open for worship. And in sports, Kenya Premier League and governing body FKF deliberate on an 18-team KPL season for 2015. Now, over the last year, at least 147 lives have been lost on account of terror-related incidents. These precious lives of innocent Kenyans have been lost in inhumane manner thanks to active terror networks. Now, security agencies have also been put on the spot, and that begs the question, just how can we move forward and secure Kenya? More on that will be coming up at the tail end of this broadcast with Johnson Mwakazi. Join him for the editorial comment. Welcome to the broadcast. Now, a special police squad that will pursue men that have been stripping or are stripping women in public has been put in place. Now, according to police spokesperson Zipporah Mboroki, the anti-stripping squad has been put in place following the increasing number of the cases. The revelation comes just as after the head of state unveiled a campaign against gender-based violence dubbed He for She.
An anti-stripping squad has been formed following increased cases of women being stripped in public. The police squad, containing of more than a dozen officers, will hunt down men that have been stripping women in public. So far, 5 suspects have been arrested and arraigned in court by the police squad for stripping a woman 2 weeks ago in Kayole. The woman identified them as part of the gang that stripped her naked on claims that she was indecently dressed. Police spokesperson Zipporah Mboroki says that women should file complaints to the police if sexually harassed or assaulted.
But here there's nobody who is coming up to complain. How do you take a case to court without a complainant? Yeah? Are you getting the scenario we are in? That's why we are urging ladies. And that's how we were able, we as women, and when the law came of gender-based violence, it came up because the ladies came out after you are violated. Your rights have been violated in gender-based violence. You came out, you record your statement, and as a result of that, we are able to arrest that couplet and we take him to court.
The Law Society of Kenya, LSK, has also sought approval from the Director of Public Prosecution to prosecute men stripping women in public. Meanwhile, President Uhuru Kenyatta Wednesday launched the He for She campaign, marking the start of the annual 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. The president called on every Kenyan to be their sister's keeper in response to various insecurity incidents in recent weeks that included the public gang stripping of women by, among others, police officers. Reporting for WTV News, I'm Wairimo Mbogwa.
Well, thank you very much, Wairimo Mbogwa, for that report. And that report forms the basis of our opinion segment. In your thoughts, we ask you, are you satisfied with government's response on the Kayole stripping incident? Are you satisfied with government's response on the Kayole stripping incident? Send us your comments and opinion to the SMS number 20058, that is 20058. We will sample some of them in our subsequent bulletins. Now, we move forward and look at what is cutting at the coastal city of Mombasa. Now, the 4 mosques that had been shut down by police in Mombasa over security concerns have been reopened. The move follows the high-level discussions between top security agencies, Muslim leaders, professionals, and the coastal region political class. But even as the mosques are now being put under the watch of selected committees of religious elders, police say they will not relent in the fight against terror and will still keep a keen eye on the activities against radicalization of Kenyan youth.
The 4 mosques closed by police in Mombasa last week on suspicion of being taken over by radical youths and teaching have been reopened and put under selected elders committee.
We are very much grateful because we are saying that they are going ahead. They formed the committees to manage the mosque, and that one is going to give us good time.
WTV has learned that the decision to reopen Mina, Sakina, Musa and Sofa Mosque came after 2 days of talks between top Muslim leaders, professionals and the Mombasa County leadership.
How far should the government go? Does the government stand outside the mosque and let grenades and bombs be made inside the mosque that can be used to bomb people outside the mosque? No. When it comes to national security, everything else ceases to exist. Religious barriers cease to exist. And I urge all Muslims of goodwill to agree with government that some things must be done.
Details of the talk hosted by Governor Hassan Joho and County Commissioner Nelson Marwa have been kept under secret, but it is expected that a permanent sheikh for each mosque will be named to preside over the mosque in Kisauni and Majengo.
And you cannot tell me, because this is a church, there are weapons which are inside there, and you as a police officer, you cannot enter there and get those weapons.
Security expert termed the move a good one in fighting insecurity in the coastal region. Reporting for WTV News, I'm Rading Biko.
Now, did you know that Kenya's real estate boom is attributed to a boom in the rental income market? Now, online portal that is Lamudi has revealed in a report dubbed Real Estate in the Emerging Markets that 70% of house hunters are looking to rent. Winnie Otieno has details to that story.
The report is based on an online survey by the house hunters and real estate agents conducted across the 16 countries.
Looking at the search data and what people are looking for, what is currently in supply and what is also in demand.
He says the findings that the Kenyan real estate market is focused on renting properties, with 70% of house hunters looking to rent, despite the fact that there is an imbalance between the supply of housing and the current demand.
In this report, we're comparing what we're looking towards in the next couple of years. Right now, we can say that the interest rates have improved slightly over the past couple of years, but in the next couple of years, we're looking at lower interest rates, making it possible for a lot of people to find affordable properties in the market. Yes.
The imbalance between the supply of housing and the current demand provides investors and the developers a gap to be filled with a great opportunity to make capital gains and fuel the economy, especially with the lower interest rates. Meaning, the lower the interest rates, the greater the potential for growth. Although the financing plays a major role in the renting or buying decision, the trend cannot be fully attributed to monetary concerns. In recent times, both the mortgage financing and rental prices have been experiencing tighter regulations and increased rates.
You'll find that people are moving more towards that compared to main houses, especially within Nairobi.
In 2012, Kenya was faced with increasing interest rates, leading to a 5% increase in overall rental prices. During this year, interest ranged from 11 to 18%, causing much concerns and stress in the economy. Kenya, however, quickly recovered and currently enjoys a rate of 8.5%. With interest rates falling, individuals will have more disposable income, hence spurring their spending power, which consequently aids in fueling the development of the economy.
With the interest rates falling, individuals have more disposable income, hence spurring the spending power, which consequently leads to economic growth. Reporting for WTV News, I am Winnie Otieno.
Now to some good news to lovers of ICT and innovation. Safaricom, the mobile operator, has launched a $1 million equivalent over 90 million Kenyan shillings venture fund aimed at accelerating the development of innovative mobile applications and solutions. Now, the move resonates with a similar model which saw the setting up of Nairobi Incubation Center, which basically provides a platform for young entrepreneurial and innovative minds to develop and actualize their ideas. Here's the report.
The venture fund is expected to provide much needed capital to ICT startups The Safaricom Spark Venture Fund will be offered to mobile ICT startups based in Kenya, either through equity investment in their businesses or in the form of other debt instruments. Startups will be eligible to receive amounts between $75,000, making up to at least 6.8 million Kenyan shillings, and $250,000, an equivalent of 22.5 million shillings. The fund has been set up for an initial 2-year period, and Safaricom Strategy and Innovation Director Joe Ogutu says he sees the investment as a catalyst key in realizing a vibrant ICT economy in Kenya. The funds will be administered together with International Tech Fund TBL Invest, who have already been appointed by Safaricom as the principal fund managers, and all prospective applications will be subject to approval from a cross-functional investment committee made up of Safaricom management, TBL Invest, and an external industry expert. Reporting for WTV News, I'm Zawadi Mudibo.
And now to some sports news. And the Kenya Premier League and the Federation of Kenya Football, that is FKF, Thursday deliberated on the modalities of a proposal to have KPL teams increased to 18 from 16 in the next season. Further, all participating teams in the coming season have been notified to ensure that they confirm participation for 2015 season by the 15th of December. That story is next.
It was turning out to be a game of musical chairs when Football Kenya Federation responded to the Kenya Premier League that the 16 to 18 format next season is irreversible. KPL merited that they could adopt the new recommendation proposed by FKF. The two teams which were promoted, Nakumatt and Kakamega Homeboys, in addition to the two other clubs, Shabana FC and Rangers FC.
Governing Council said that they are not ready to increase the league to 18, because when you look at the performance of our national team, we need to give the national team more time to train. The money that is coming into the league is still minimal, and the clubs have been complaining and even not paying players, and they need to get more partners on board to try and improve the standards of the game. We have referees who we also need to pay, so increasing the team, increasing the league to a higher number will increase the financial burden for the clubs there.
KPL, a body that runs the league, met on Friday 14th November and opposed the 18-team league and recommended that the 2015 season will stick to its ground by maintaining the usual 16-team league. The Sporting Integrity vows that the relegating and promotion of clubs is decided in the beginning of the season by the bottom two clubs being relegated and the top two clubs in the lower division being promoted.
16 is ideal. When you look at a survey of the African League, 16 is ideal, and most of the African leagues are either 16 or 14. Some are even far much to 12 teams. So I don't think it's the right time to increase the number. We cannot compare ourselves to top European leagues because they have the financial muscle, because they can sustain under 8 teams. The youth structures are well developed. We don't even have youth structures. We're struggling with the under-19 championship, and yet we want to divert funds by increasing the teams.
The Kenya Premier League boss Jack Oguda confirmed that the national team Harambee needs more time for friendly matches in FIFA and CAF competitions in order to increase the national team's FIFA ranking, and the only way to do so is by maintaining the current number of teams to prevent congestion of fixtures and promote the league's quality. All eyes will be on tomorrow's meeting, with matters add or maintain the number will be on the top agenda.
Now, that report is our cue to the editorial comment. We mentioned earlier that over the last year, at least 147 lives have been lost in terror-related incidents. 2 weeks ago, a couple of days actually, we did have at least 28 Kenyans massacred, and that was an act that was conducted by suspected Al-Shabaab militants. Now, the security situation and agencies have been put in place and have also been put on notice to ensure that Kenyans are secure. But we ask, just how can we secure our country? Whose responsibility is it? Johnson Mwakazi with the editorial. comment.
There comes a time when a country has to sit down and reevaluate itself. And it's not just the government, but even the citizens of that country. This is the time that you and I, as citizens of this beloved country, Kenya, we need to sit down and reevaluate ourselves. The insecurity situation in this country, yes, it is appalling, it is shameful, it is absolutely discouraging. But yet we realize we cannot involve in a blame game kind of situation. This is the time for you and I to take our stand and be part of the solution. My name is Johnson Mwakazi, and this is our editorial comment in regards to the topical issues that are happening in this country. In just 1 year so far, we've lost 147 innocent Kenyans. Kenyans who are beloved, precious to most of us. And of course, we want to take this opportunity to send our condolences to families that are mourning at the moment. Yet we realize that we also have a responsibility in making sure that this does not happen again. We don't know when the next strike will happen, but we do know we can change the destiny and the future of this country if you and I take the first position of providing solutions. From corruption, in fact, somebody said, yes, the media is the fourth estate, but looks like corruption is the fifth estate in this country. And it all boils down to the very simple things that we ignore as Kenyans, to the very things that we throw out of the window and we say it is not our responsibility, but it is somebody's responsibility. And we engage in this blame game, forgetting that at the end of the day, it is our people who suffer, it is our people who get killed at the end. And so today, we're calling upon everyone, you and I, to take the position of solutions. Yes, we know we have an Inspector General who has a responsibility in terms of restoring this security situation in this country. We have a Cabinet Secretary. But at the same time, we realize we have strong, powerful Kenyans who have a space in terms of playing a role that will bring about change in this country. And just to take you back to the story that was shared by the late Professor Wangari Maathai, the hummingbird. It's a simple bird. The forest is burning. And instead of running away just like every other animal, including the elephant, the bird decides, you know what? I have something that I can do. With my small beak, I can go get water, fetch water, and try to put off that fire. What are we doing? As a journalist, I realize I also have a problem. In terms of, instead of throwing the stones at the government and blaming this or that person, I have my pen to write. I have my words to speak. And I believe just like that hummingbird, with the small beak that I have, I can still fetch water and put off that fire of insecurity, that fire of corruption. And at the same time, I believe you have something to offer. You have something to do. From the religious scene to the business world, there is something you can do to help this situation. There is something you can do to provide a solution to the insecurity situation in this country. So that at the end of the day, we will not sit down and say, somebody else burnt our country. We will not sit down and say, you did this, but you will say, I did something to protect the beauty of this country, and I did something to protect the future of this country, because I am a Kenyan and this is my country.
Well, thank you very much, Johnson, for that insightful comment. And at WTV, it is our call and reminder to all our viewers that your security is your concern and that of your neighbor too. So keep a secure environment. Report any suspected incidents that are not usual to the authorities. For now, from the entire news desk and the team, my name is Zawadi Ndibo. Have yourselves a great day ahead.